So yeah, there's only 6 seats there's 3 in Shore and 3 in Crompton, and that's for the Borough Council. Now we're under no illusion that there's 60 seats on the Borough Council, so we're only going to be a small cog, but there's many independent groups that are coming forward, setting up their own groups, putting politics aside, and we think one day, not too far off, party politics will be the secondary factor, because party politics of all these people have got to hide behind. They hide behind a rosette. They even stand in other areas they don't even live in. And people vote just like you support your football team. They vote for what they've been indoctrinated. And really they're taking advantage of you, in my view. They're taking advantage of you, and they're taking advantage of all of you, because it's not party politics we need. It's people within our community coming forward to help each other, and that's one thing we've clearly demonstrated. So that'll be our target for the borough election. But like I say, we're totally honest with what we do. We've started off in Shore, we've built from there. We didn't want to field candidates just like the political parties do, anyone will do. So they have something called a paper candidate, you will have heard of them. And that is an insult, really, in my view. Chris and Hazel Gloucester's children are actually paper candidates in places like Hollingwood, and that just shows a mentality for me. I mean, I'm not talking personally anything negative about them, but it shows for me a lack of respect for the people in them areas. You know, if I would never consider standing in Saddleworth, I would never consider standing in Royton. You know, I'm only interested about where I live, where my kids go to school, where I've got ties. Yes, we're all part of Oldham, in a sense, politically, in a local government sense. But remember, Oldham is largely made up of towns with their own identities. And if people can remember that bar back, that's how it used to be. Yeah? And I think we need to take a bit of a step back to that. It's not all about the centre of Oldham. It's about the things that we've got to hand, and I just think we've been used far too long as a cash cow. And I wouldn't mind so much if Oldham Council used our money and other parts of the area's borough sensibly. But we've all seen what they've squandered. There's many examples. Some of them are so far-fetched, you think it's something out of a comic. You know, £8 million on an eco centre in Glodick. So do you want to go camping in Glodick? I mean, one of the big things that's come out today, and it is a footballing issue, so I apologise for that. And I know it's an emotional subject for some people, quite a lot of people in Oldham, because obviously the town football team reflects the town's identity, and it's been mismanaged and gone downhill, etc, etc. And now the new owner, Frank, as he likes to be called, has put his money in to turn the club around. Now that's fine, and I'm all behind that. I'm all behind for, you know, for businesses in Oldham, because that's what it is essentially. It's a private business to do well. But the council have given this week a grant of £1 million. Yeah, I repeat, £1 million for a new pitch, and they're doing it specifically. It's called electioneering. Yeah. And aren't the council, isn't this council great? They're getting on the bandwagon with the football. £1 million for a pitch. It's a smart pitch, I believe. It's a bit like them smart bins, isn't it? It's what? Yeah. And I get that. But don't.
It's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
But that's had a plastic pitch before. It's been down there before, and it got took up, and it went.
The truth is with the rugby, and I'm not 100% an expert on it, but Oldham Rugby went down because it was badly run when they was up at Watershed. We all know about that mess and how they sold the ground and the money went and all that and the other. There is a business case for the rugby to go into Boundary Park, because it generates money. It generates money in this, that and the other. Yeah, I wouldn't have so much a problem if maybe the council said would facilitate you a loan, a business loan, but to specifically give them a grant I think it's unwarranted. I don't think it's fair, because how many cricket pitches need relaying? What about, you set a precedent, and I think that it is a very, very dangerous thing they've done, because they're using people's emotions for political gain. And Frank should be bigger than that, and he should have refused it. He's a multi-millionaire. He spent 13 million allegedly on this. When he bought the club for 13 million, I've never bought things on that scale, but when I bought my house, I had a survey done.
Yeah.
And I would have thought the most important thing on a football club is the pitch.
And it's a professional setup.
Absolutely.
You know, to fundraise for the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. So, and there's a connection between Frank and the Labour Party in Oldham. He's done his campaign for him. He's paid for leaflets for him. He's been awarded the freedom of the borough by the administration. So there's a conflict there, isn't there? Okay. So that's the borough side of it. We want to be a part of it as an independent voice for Shaw and Crompton. Not at the moment where it's just a Liberal Democrat gang and a point of view. We don't play politics. We're there simply for our community. Now, the bigger prize, and I say prize because it's a prize for all of us, is the parish council. We're lucky in this town because we have a parish council. A lot of people say, why have we got it? It's a waste of time, let's get rid of it. There is a view it's a waste of time because of how the Liberals are running it. And we believe it could give so much more to the community, okay? Because we've got powers with that. We could say, for instance, build a community centre. I mean, the biggest heartbreak thing for me is at St Paul's. I mean, what a community centre that would have made. And think of the plan with that you could have had. It could have been a community centre, come meeting place, come event centre, whatever. All these things it could have been. And now, because of the ineptness of our councillors and parish council, it's a pile of rubble. So, just to put you in the picture, keep picking on you. But just to put you in the picture, previously I've tried to apply to the parish council legitimately, and I've been blackballed, as the saying goes. Specifically, and we've got it in writing, there's no denying it, because I wasn't a Liberal Democrat. They wouldn't let me on the parish council. Now, is that representative of us? Is that the kind of mindset you want your councillors to have, where they view you not for who you are or what you do or whatever, because of the membership card to a political party? That is, in my opinion, disgraceful. I just want to give you a bit of an update of where we are. It's not too late to put your name forward if you wish. Stamp that. We're not at press ganging yet, but you never know. Okay. So, the nomination papers are now, after today, available for both the parish council and the borough council. So obviously we've got people's details who want to be a parish councillor. And listen, don't be put off by what a parish councillor is, because what a parish councillor is what the parish council's going to be, what we want it to be. At the moment, they have committee after committee after committee after committee, to the point that's all they ever do. Okay? We don't want that. We don't want committees. We want action groups, focus groups, things like that. There's a planning committee. That's fair enough, because you want to have the heads up of what's coming in your neighbourhood and all that. I mean, they've not got many powers. They've not got any, really. They can just object, just like any of us can. But it gives us a foresight. That parish council has to be the centrepiece for our town in terms of bringing in investment. Yeah? And that's what our biggest challenge will be, because we say it time and time and time again. There's a lot of money in Shaw, a lot of money. We pay some of the highest council taxes nationally, let alone locally. And the problem is people with money in Shaw aren't spending it in Shaw. And we want to do a community and a business plan. And it's simple how we do that. We canvass people. It's something we're going to fund from our council allowances, because it isn't that much money to send out a questionnaire. We're going to do it on the internet or however. If we can generate enough interest in what people want in Shaw, you've done the research for investors. Yeah? And once you start turning it, it'll turn. And that parish council is the for us is the focal point. Like I say, the first thing I'll say is if anyone goes on our website now, because it's been launched this evening, our website or our Facebook page, they'll see a lot of what we do. And that's helping people. That's our priority, is helping people within our community. Okay? But for the election coming up shortly, we're going to be launching what our target objectives are, and not just words, but how we're going to fulfil it. Okay? So the two there, the business and the community plan, is obviously hand in hand. That's 1/2. We've told you how we're going to fund it. We've told you loosely how it's going to operate and what we're going to use it for. We're going to have ideas on youth issues. We've got plans for the epidemic crime that's going on in Shaw and Crompton. Low-level crime they call it, but crime's crime. I mean, shoplifting's at absolute epidemic proportions in Shaw. We're bordering on the Wild West. And I've said it, the only person in Shaw at the moment with any real power is a parking ticket man, because the PCOs haven't got any. Now, there's two choices here. We can either give the parking ticket man the sheriff's badge and all go home, or we can put together something that we think will work. And we think, although we're not going to announce it tonight, we've got a workable solution to getting crime, the presence, crime down and police presence higher within our town. We've got leaflets in hand. We've got a first lot, and the first lot basically says who we are and what we've done. Another leaflet will be going out, and it'll be pointing out what our aims are, what we think we can deliver. Because I think a lot of people have got immune to people knocking on doors and leaflets because they're meaningless. You'll get Labour knocking on your door telling you how bad the Conservatives are, yeah, for the energy crisis, and you'll get the Tories knocking on your door saying there's going to be a dinghy washing up in your garden with 4 people in it any minute now. So these things, you know, you consider important, yeah. There isn't important in every aspect of our national picture, but locally, they're not the forefront of what we need to be thinking about. We need to be thinking about the town, the amount of HMOs that are popping up, yeah. Crime is another massive one for us. It's getting our town back to something like it used to be, because one thing hasn't changed, and that's people have always had pride in where they come from. And I think that's our bit, like I say, it's always been our biggest asset, this, hasn't it? You know, people still class themselves from Shaw, from Crompton, and they still wear that with pride. And we think it's sad that I see all these things on Facebook, the good old days and all that, and really we should be thinking forward and not behind. Has anyone got any questions?
Just that the people I've spoken to sometimes are just a bit confused about the parish council and what's going to entail, as in have they got time to do it and stuff like that. I just think people just need a bit of reassurance.
Yeah,
it's not going to be
no
a full-time job, is it? It's not like that.
No.
You know.
They have something called the parish council, which is obviously the 14 councillors who sit round that table. Okay, the parish clerk does all the paperwork, does all the agendas and whatnot and whatever, and then all these subcommittees that they've got, which we'll just eliminate because half of them are pointless, and we'll just have a general forum, so we could do everything in one, really. Maybe not, with the exception of maybe the planning. Yeah. So
just a lot of people have asked me because I think it's going to be every night.
No, it'd be like one month.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you can put as much as you want into it, but it's not to be fair about it.
The truth is, and this is the thing with Oldham Council as well, you spend more time in the chamber or sat round the table talking than doing. Yeah. And that's what we do. This is the difference that our approach is. We don't talk about it, we do it. We identify the problem, we find out what we need, we build up relationships with other stakeholders, and then we get things done. And that's it is what it is.
And I've seen
The
that
thing,
first time.
yeah, the thing with the parish council, because it's run along political lines, if you're not a Liberal Democrat, you're not coming in. So it's a fiefdom, if you will, if maybe a cabal, maybe a fiefdom. Whereas you sit around that table pontificating, handing out a couple of 200, 300 quid grants, whatever, but nothing really gets done. There's got to be a starting point where, if we do get a majority or we get all of it, we want all of it if we can aim. The first thing we'll do, which is something they've never done, is publicise a parish council. So right, this is the parish council, we're going to have a public meeting and we're going to ask you what you want from it. And on the basis of that, we're going to put together something that maybe we can deliver. Yeah? Our overall vision is, it's a supporting mechanism, the parish council. That's what it is. It's a supporting measure. It's support local businesses. It's to support community groups. It's to support, all these sort of things that we can,
Well, it doesn't do now because, like I said, nobody knows about it.
No.
Unless you're in that little circle, you don't.
The amount of conversations I've had to have, and I wouldn't call them fruitless conversations, but where people don't even know the difference between the parish council and the borough council. They don't know the majority of people don't even know who the councillors are, so you've no chance with the parish councillors. The reason why there's something called co-option. So if a councillor doesn't turn up for like 2 years or whatever, or and you think I'm joking, but I'm not. Doesn't turn up for a period of time, then they have to co-opt it. That means you get rid of him, and then they ask people within the community, would you like to be a parish council? Right. Therefore, that's when I applied and went, do you know what? I've got 25 years business management, the last 15 senior. I left school with no formal education, and I'm up to master's degree now, etc, etc. I've got a lot of connections to the town. I've got a lot of skills I think I could bring. Can I come and see you and maybe have an interview? You think that, don't you? Have an interview and we'll have a chat, and then, fair enough. So now I had to fill out some form, and then I sent the form in, and I just got a message back saying, sorry, you were unsuitable. So I got leaked some emails between them where they specifically say, we're not going to let Mark Ince join because he's not a Liberal Democrat. And lo and behold, the person they did choose was a Liberal Democrat. So that is not reflective of the community as a whole, because you're never going to sit around a table and get, as you're demonstrating clearly, as you're clearly demonstrating with that Liverpool shirt on, you're never going to sit around a table and get on with everybody over everything, are you? That's the reality of it. But we put them differences aside and we focus on getting the best for the town and the community and the environment, because there cannot be disagreement on that. It's just how we do it. We couldn't sit there and go, yeah, I think it'd be great if we to pull down the baths or what. Nobody's going to think that way, are they? It's all about, this is the shared goal, is what we want, how we want to make our town better. The disagreement might be the way we decide to do that, but by working together, at least we're getting a collective in, aren't we? We're getting sort of a joint view, because, like I said, there's skills in this room. The biggest skill anyone's got is life experience. That's the fact. And I think if we focus solely on that, I think that's the best way forward. One of the things I will say is we're largely self-funded, obviously, which is fine. But these things do have a cost to them. So we have set up our PayPal donation page, but what we've done with that is we want for every £1 people donate to our campaign, if we get elected, and hopefully we will, out of our council allowances, we're going to donate that money back to two charities in Shaw. So in essence, people are sort of getting double value for the donation to get us elected, and then we're going to split the donation money between Dovetails and the Royal British Legion, who again, the work they do within the community. I mean, you know, go and see them at Dovetails and what they do. They was recently awarded MBEs for the community work and just engaging with old people, bringing these old people together and keeping them occupied, and they do crafts and all, you know, because being old is being lonely, isn't it, in a lot of cases. So and that's the thing. So I'm pleased to announce up to now we've got £1.68. It was £2, but PayPal take out their cut, so this is a will be living. So I'd like to say just thank you for attending again. We're going to do this up to the election once a week, and to be honest, the reason we want to do it is because anyone can come and ask us questions. Anyone can come and try and pull holes in us or whatever. We let anyone on our Facebook group if they live in Shaw, and we know there's a lot of Liberal Democrat supporters on it, and they challenge us and whatever, and we're perfectly happy to engage with them. We think we've got a real chance this time, and the big thing for us is it is a big opportunity, particularly with the parish council, because all the seats are up for grabs. And if we do get the majority, we've got 4 years to go at it. You know, 4 years to put a proper plan, a proper strategy, you know, with time frames, where we want to be, what do we want to do, what groups within our community are needed the most, where do we focus, is it citizens' advice, is it all these things. Because at the moment, and I'll be truthful with you, the parish councils use for two things. The Duke of Edinburgh use it, and then the PCSOs drink tea in it most of the day. And that's not me being thingy, but that's you know, the PCSOs use that as a base. So there we go. So thanks for your attending. Well, I can enjoy my drink now, and then we'll see you all here back on Monday. Yeah.